Hi everybody, Retired Hero here with Fluffy. If you've been enjoying the videos so far, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for enjoying. But please do thumbs up the videos, leave comments. I get to every single one of them. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel so that I know to put more videos up for you. But without further ado, let's get into the game. We're at the Catan Community Cash Tournament number 3 final table. Here we go. We've got Ranban with the first pick on green, TK on red, Yelfs on blue, and Dirty Gertie on black. First spot already down 8-5-10. Going on that ore, wheat, and brick, already pointing to the ore port here. Already a nice spot there. You can double up on that 8 there. 5-9-10, great production pointing to the wood port is TK settling down on that. The Elf's coming down for this one. He's going to be on blue here. A couple of interesting spots out there as well. You've got brick port, wheat port out here, especially given that 8-5-6 out there. Where's that sheep port? All the way out on the side, but unfortunately, we've got some 2s and some 11s on the sheep, so a little bit rarer on this one here. 3 ore out here, again with the 8-10. Not going to be too abundant on this one. There might even be a little bit of a monopoly here on that 8 ore here. So somebody might look at the 8-10-11, pointing out to some 3-1 ports. Not a bad spot there as a follow-up. Best production left out on there, 6-9-10. Looking at some double brick here. And that could potentially still get you onto those 3-1 ports, you know, even if you don't have this brick port as an option later on. Now, again, this is the Catan Community Cash Tournament number 3. Grand prize over $100. I think it's pushed up to about 128 or so. Over 76 players here. Everybody at this table already guaranteed over $50 in prize money. A lot of cash tickets going out as well. Shout out to Remarkable and Puzzles for running the Catan community. The community has grown over, it's over doubled in the past couple of months here, so definitely check it out. The link is down below in the description. Catan Community, they run a lot of free tournaments as well, but every so often they run one of these bigger cash tournaments so that you can get in on those too. Definitely more prizes there, but even with the free tournaments, a lot of colonist coins, a lot of good competition in those ones as well, so make sure you check those out. Let's get back to the board here. Again, Center Desert makes this very, very interesting here because it will push more people out to the sides, and depending on how this goes, it is unlikely that Ranban will actually get a 3-hex spot on the way back. You know, you're starting to look at things like the 6-4-3, the 8-10-11, or the 8-4-11. You've got the 6-9-10 here, which might be taken, and of course people might start looking at some of these positions here to get to the ports either way. So a lot of times you end up building somewhere on the interior here, you know, trying to get a piece of that wheat, maybe get some extra wood here. Someone could start here on the 4-3-5, 3-4-5, and then start to build out either way as well. Start off with that extra rope, but the 6-4-3 does the same thing. Just whether or not you need that extra wheat in there as well. Some really interesting spots here. So it is the 8-10-11, like we said, getting some of that ore, which will be fairly rare. So 4th player here, Dirty Gertie, they either get this 8-3 and ore, or they find themselves on this 3 of ore, which is very tricky. The other option is to hopefully, eventually at some point, expand your way there. You know, it's pretty likely that we may just go for production here and 3-1 it out, and maybe, just maybe, try to build our way out there and race them to it. Is that possible? Potentially. You know, depending on how you build here, right? You've taken up all of the brick here. It's unlikely that Ranban will be able to race you there. They're going to have the 10 brick, but they're going to need to start off with some wood, and well, I think your production is going to be slightly better to get there. A little bit of a risky spot as always, depends what the table is willing to trade for you, so you have to consider that. But 6-9-10 might start to get you out there. You may end up going with some ore and some sheep here as well. Get you to that brick port 1 road away. You just have to make some friends with the wood there. Definitely a possibility there. Hard to give up the 6-9-10. Hard not to look at it. But if you want to play a little bit more of that sheep game, I mean, a little bit tough. One of the best spots here is the 9 here, so unlikely to be anywhere near that. So it is the 6-9-10 going out towards the 3. And they get some sheep here as well, pointing back down. Curiously enough, looking for a better sheep number here. Sheep are pretty important. You know, most of the time you point towards the port so that you can get that wood port, but that's going to be a back build later on. They're going to secure themselves with the wheat. They're going to secure themselves with the sheep, and then they're probably going to come back later and come back for that wood port. Pretty curious there. Again, 3-1 port here on the 9-1, fairly safe. Probably no one gonna take that. Coming back around, we're back on Yelfs here with blue, who's on ore, wheat, and some wood here. A nicer sheep number might not be too bad, and they can definitely supplement here too. You know, building something like this. I could also see them going for something like just straight up ore and wheat, and then building their way down. Of course, brick port doesn't look too attractive. Wheat port could be something here, especially if they can make their way down. But again, it's just a little bit of a stretch too far away. Now, the other option that you can think about is maybe coordinating your 8s. A pretty tricky spot though. If you lock yourself out onto the edge, as soon as one of those gets blocked, that's pretty much your game. Coordinated 8s sound good, but it's pretty likely that's going to be blocked out, so I don't recommend that one on this one. I think the sheep is a pretty good idea here. I mean, it is possible to build out to here and then hope to get, you know, maybe a triple spot here. I would assume that this 3-4-5 does look interesting because you start off with the road and potential here to get onto the wheat port. Again, triple wheat is not bad. You're gonna have this 3-1. If you get all the wheat here and overproduce wheat, I think you're still gonna be fairly happy with that. So I don't mind this 3-4-5 at all. Now, if you keep going back around, what's TK gonna look for? They're gonna look for some wheat for sure. So they may look for something like this. And then you look back over here on Ranban. What are they gonna look at? Wood, sheep. I think the 3-4-11 looks too good to give to Ranban here. So Ranban may actually end up taking something like this, or maybe even the 3-4-11. I think they're happy with that anyway, as long as they get some of that sheep. Now, it is possible that they might even take this 9-11 and look to point out this way, but I think this is going to be taken. Well, I think this and this are going to be taken. Well, 3-4-5 I think will be taken, and then it's really up to TK. What does TK want to block here? I don't think they're going to be able to block this, so I mean, a really tough call if they want this 6-3-11 or 6-3-12 here. Yeah, it's going to be the 3-4. They're going to get the cut off here because they start with a road. So unless a 7 comes out, or unless Ranban starts with that wood and gets the brick roll right on their first roll, we're probably going to see a plow right away, right off the hop here. TK now, their spot now. I assume that they're going to look for some extra wheat here. And the extra wheat here is sitting on the 5-6 or the 6-12-3. Starting on the 6-12-3, they might find themselves on a fast city here. 2 10s, a 10 and a 3. They're going to have that fast city already, and that might, you know, jumpstart their game a little bit. Either way, I think getting that wheat, sheep, and ore, I think that's going to be fairly good for their game. Do they care about this brick port? Not so much. There's going to be a settlement there, so where do you want to build? My feeling is go towards this 5-6 here. Should be pretty open. Again, overproduction on the wheat for you instead, because Yelfs didn't want to point down towards that. But again, you've got a 3-1 port somewhere over here. I think Yelfs may look for that too, so there may be some contest here. But Yelfs is pretty happy with an 8 ore here instead of doubling up on the 10 ore here. So this is a much better way to double up on your 8s, is to build a settlement over there, right? You still have triple hex production, and strangely enough, there is going to be a nice 3 hex spot left for Ranban on the way back around, and it's not going to be too terrible. So I think TK's got a really tough position here. You know, TK absolutely wants to block out Ranban here, but already Ranban is a little bit weakened, especially if this gets blocked out. So who becomes your next strongest? Probably Black, I think. Dirty Gertie's in a pretty good spot, and then Yelfs will be in a pretty good spot too. So can you lock them out? Not really. With these center desert games, everyone just kind of pushes out, and then it's your neighbors that you have to either race for or just beat them to places. So it would be really good to get on some brick here if possible, but you know, there aren't any really good brick spots out here. You know, there's the chance to take the A3, but I don't think you want to put yourself in that position. I think the wheat is too good to pass up. It's just which one. You know, there's definitely possibility of here going out, maybe getting to that wheat board as well. I think you try your hand at the 6-3-12 pointing down. There's a, you know, potential chance that maybe they don't go here, but even then, if you stretch past them to get to the wheat port there and then build down, there's options there. So it does come all the way back around. Where does the road go? I thought initially to the 5-6. I still don't mind that at all. They're going to be doubled up on this 5 wood and then hopefully back around to this 3-1 port here. You know, the 5-6 doesn't add a lot, but the other option is maybe they go out to that 9 brick. Not bad, of course, just to add that 9 brick there. You know, very unlikely to be blocked here unless, you know, black really gets out of control, but even then it's more likely that the 6 will be blocked out than the 9. So your road production is going to be fairly good here. So pointing inwards here, yeah, it's going to be an instant drop here. 11-4-3. Ranban not upset about that by any means, and of course they're going to have a couple of spots here. I actually like pointing out to the 8 wheat here as well, because they end up coordinating their 8s. The wheat port can come back around a little bit later. You know, once you get this 8 doubled up, you get your cities up, you probably have the resources to get that next settlement back up here. So I would like this to point over this way. I'm not sure pointing up to get to the extra sheep here on the 9 is really worth it. You know, it might make your life a little bit easier, but I think playing towards the wheat here and using the wheat port, you'll have the 5 wheat, you'll have the 8 wheat. A lot of your sheep will come from the 4 though. No, they go over. They go over. So 7 is the first roll out. They may actually steal this. The first roll here, game on. Yelfs, you know, has the road in hand. 67% chance that Ranban can take the wood or the brick away. If they get the brick right away, they can actually put the road down. They steal from Yelfs. They actually buy a development card. So you know that they stole the wheat. Ranban started with a sheep and an ore. And Yelf started with a wood brick wheat, so I think they stole the wheat, and now that's going to be the road down. The plow is confirmed. They needed the roll. They needed the 7. They got the 7. They looked for the steal. And we're starting this off. Unlucky for Ranban. Only 1 out of 3 cards was what he did need, and you know, he could have stolen one of either one to break things up. Didn't happen. Ranban here gonna have a little bit of a tougher game with that plow there. They did know that was gonna happen though. I mean, that was placed down initially, so he knew that was a possibility, a very strong possibility. Looking for either the 10 to get the brick or the 7 to hopefully break it up. Got the 7 to break it up, but couldn't get the pluck. City comes down early, like we were saying, the 6, 12, 3 to start things off. And what do we get? We got an early 3. Yeah, we got an early 3 to play things out there. And that's going to be the ore out there. Huge city up there. Of course, the 10 is blocked, so that's going to slow things down a little bit. But TK off to a very good start here. Pass things off to Yelfs, who rolls out the 9 there. Trying to give away wheat for a little bit of anything here. They're going to have a little bit of a tough time getting that settlement down with just the 3 brick and the 11 wood, 11-4 wood here. But it's going to take them a little bit of time to get out there. But 3s have been rolling, so there's some extra brick out there. Yelfs actually does have that, I'm sorry. So it is just going to be, yeah, it's going to be a trade with TK here for the sheep or the wood here. Double 9 sheep here. That's going to be a brick over there for Dirty Gertie as well. I wonder where Dirty's going to go here. If there is a plow here as well, 2 roads might balance things out a little bit. The table may trade. No, it's going to be the road down to the 3-1 port. No, he had 2 roads. He had 2 roads. And I feel like the plow could have been there to the wood port to the 5. Now, is that just me? He dropped 2 roads here, 1 and 2. Dirty Gertie, maybe a missed opportunity there, especially TK here, who's got that early city down. You know, blocking this out, you're going to have 6, 4, and the 5 wood on the wood port. I think that would have been worth the 2 roads. Now, what do you get out of your 2 settlement spots? You're going to get on this 9 sheep, which is great. You're going to get on the double 9. And 3-1 port, which is very nice too. A 3-1 is really good. But man, this wood port looks so good. That wood port looks so good. Anyways, 5 rolls. TK goes 4-1 to get the brick down, and they point themselves off to the wood port. Crisis averted there for TK. So TK looking in a much stronger spot. Yelfs drops down the settlement there onto the 8 now. So if 8 start rolling, cities start start rising here. 3 after that and another 6 here. The 3 for extra brick helps out so much here for Yelfs. Super rare on there. And that's going to jumpstart their game. Ramban here rolls out the 6, trying to make some trades happen now. Going to be a tough game for Ramban now with that block, and I'm not sure, again, pointing out to this wheat port right off the hop is going to be the go-to here. I think the 8-4 better production, and again, pairing up those 8s might get you the cities up there a little bit quicker here. So TK looking like a favorite. Dirty Gertie might get some of that production going. But I feel like if we get this wood port down, TK is going to be in a very strong spot. Even 11 rolls out here too, so Yelf's coming down. It's going to double up on the 8 there. 5 rolls out afterwards. Big rolls here. Dirty Gertie, they've got the settlement down. They go for the 3-1 first. Curiously enough, I think that's pretty curious. I think maybe get the 4-9 first. You double up your production pretty much. You have the 9s there, and then you get an extra 3 points on the 4 wood there. I think I might have gone for the 9-4 initially. Let me know what you think. 6 rolls out after that. Ramban trying for some trades. The 7, unfortunately, this is TK who's got control, so the table here is not going to be able to slow him down any, or them down any. So TK going to finally clear up this 10 ore, and that might lead to a second city here. But who's next is probably going to be Dirty Gertie or Yelfs. I don't think you steal from Ramban here. So maybe you slow down the wood production here. Maybe you slow down the the double if you need it. The 8 ore might be a spot of contention here, but it is going to be the brick that gets stomped down. Surprisingly, stealing from Ramban too, who is only on 2 points. So maybe Ramban's got something that they need. Maybe Ramban is the only one that can help TK build this up. No, it's going to be 2 development cards already in hand now as they buy 1 that turn. Yeah, I think if they block that 8, that could have stopped some of that ore out there. So now it's on to Yelfs. Yelfs had 7 resources now with that wheat and that ore in hand. So you got to think pretty close to a city at some point here. And I'm actually wondering, if they do end up going with this 3-4-5 and try to get a little bit more out of that. But, I think, given the way that their production is going, I don't mind this at all. The 8, 10, 11 city up. Yeah, the 8, 10, 11 city up is going to be pretty nice. They're going to have a lot of production on this 8. Their ore production is going to be split up here a little bit. So tough to block out completely onto Yelfs here. And they are thinking about it quite a bit here. So 7 cards. I don't remember what Yelfs has. It's going to be wheat, or I think a lot of wheat in Yelfs' hands here, actually. I think Yelfs might actually be a little bit stuck. They get the wood in there. Yeah, lots of wheat. Maybe having to go 4-1 away. It is a 4-1 away. They go for the sheep there. They decide to hold and pass. And I guess we should point that out. They don't have any sheep of their own. So no trades on the board, surprisingly. I think TK might have considered it. We get a 7 out here. Dirty Gertie moves it on to the 8 and goes ahead and steals from Yelfs. Surprisingly not, again, from TK here. I think they're giving TK a lot of wiggle room here. 2 development cards already, 3 points. Well, again, with a settlement opportunity there on the wood port here. Looking pretty scary to me, but I guess Ramban does have 3 development cards, so maybe they're keeping a little eye on Ramban. But pretty tough here to leave TK unblocked, unhindered here. Maybe hoping that putting it here, Ramban would actually use one of these development cards and then move it back onto TK. So maybe forcing it. Maybe Dirty Gertie knew, hey, let's get Ramban to actually use some of these development cards. Let's force the knight here, and there it is. Ramban goes ahead and opens up with the knight. That's going to be the first one for them here, and the first one on the board actually. So it is going to be the 6 wheat block. I like that wheat block there. Really slows things down. The 7 comes out after, so unfortunately that's going to have to be cleared up, and it is going to be a solo 5 wood block. Steals and then passes. It's TK's turn. TK though might have a knight of their own. Could put it back onto Ramban here, who will have to wait all the way back around until it comes to them. So really unfortunate there. I do understand why TK is stealing from Ramban. Ramban's got direct competition TK and Ranban are direct competition for that ore, wheat, sheep development card strategy. The 7 rolls for Yelfs, who gets a free clear on that 8 ore. So it's going to sit onto that 6 wheat now, and that's going to be another settlement down. 3 to 1 port activated. 8 hits right away. Yelfs smiling at that one. Good play. Ranban does catch another ore off of that one. You got to think, Ranban's going to have to start looking at a city at some point here. Can't just keep buying dev cards. You've got to get that production up. Especially here now that Yelfs is on 4 settlements here. TK, I think, fairly close to that wood port as well. But buying development cards here early is the right play. You can kind of slow things down. Wow, another 8 rolls out. Ranban still buying development cards, 4 in hand now, and goes ahead and passes. So maybe monopolies, maybe some year plenties. Best case scenario, even a road building in hand would help out. 10 rolls out afterwards. That's a city in hand for Yelfs. Between the 2 8s and the 10, that's a city for Yelfs. Now the question is it the 8, 10, 11 or the 3, 4, 5? I lean towards the 8, 10, 11 just because 3's already doubled up. I mean, you can double up on this 10. Absolutely, Yelfs agrees. And we got a city down. 5 rolls out afterwards. That's going to be a wheat there. And they're not hurting for wheat. They've got this 8 wheat here. Settlement comes down for Dirty Gertie as well, who's got 4 settlements of their own. Just a little bit behind, but as soon as they settle on that 4, they hit it right away. That's going to be a road down and another development for Ranban here, who decides to play another knight. That's going to be 2 for them. Largest army, pretty much conceded over to Ranban, who's got 4 cards here. TK now, they've got to decide now, do we keep chasing with dev cards or do we start worrying about our production and looking at other ways to win? Now, if TK doesn't get largest army, it's going to be quite a ways away. It's going to be a road settle, and then you might have to play for longest road too, right? Maybe start building out. Maybe look at these. Maybe look at that 9 brick if you need to look at longest road or more settlements here. So TK, I think, has to make a decision here. They do have 1 development card. They could keep buying development cards and still trying to fish for something, whether it be victory points or other ways to get those points. TK now really needing some brick here, so you got to think that once they get that wood port down, it's going to be a lot easier. I wonder if this 5-6 is going to be the next one, or if they come back for this 9, or if they try to get onto this 3 to 1, which is pretty important for them too. Because if they just play with this wood port, they're going to have to be 4 for 1ing all this wheat, sheep, or whatever else. No 3 to 1 deals there. Wow, TK even pushing things up. Ore and double wood for a single brick. I think if I'm Dirty Gertie, I am considering that trade. You know, the ore itself might be worth it, right? There's no ore production there for Dirty. It's going to be 3 to 1s. Maybe with the double wood, you know, it builds up your hand quite a bit. You're already over with 8, so you might as well have more. Maybe the chance to 3 to 1 and get yourself a city. Definitely possible there. Yeah, TK trying all combinations of trades, sheep, double wood, or double wood. So you know in their hand they've got, you know, sheep or double wood, and you know they're definitely holding on to a little bit of wheat in there. They definitely want to get that settlement down as soon as possible. Oh! The pass and the immediate roll of 7. Dirty Gertie held on that. TK with 9 as well. That's 8 more cards between the two. Back to the bank. That's going to slow things down. Dirty Gertie and TK there. I think good for the table. It is going to slow things down. This puts Yelfs in a fairly reasonable spot here. You know, citied up on the 8. Of course, the robber is there. Can they get it off onto another better spot? But who's going to be? Maybe K? Maybe TK? Maybe Dirty Gertie? If you can get both, even better. No, they block the 10 bricks still. So they catch Ranban in there to try to slow them down a little bit. And again, TK running a little bit free here, but the steal hopefully should be on to Dirty Gertie here. And what are they making? A lot of wood, a lot of brick. I think that's exactly what Yelfs needs here to keep building out. I would assume that they're going to try and go out for this ore, not necessarily because of the 3 to 1 port, but hey, just because you can Only you can build it so efficiently. One road, one settlement. It is possible that they might start to buy development cards. Largest army claimed by Ramban here, who is still unfortunately just on the 2 settlements, but still with 3 dev cards in hand. Yeah, I think at some point they're going to try and get this settlement down, just for the sake of getting that down, or get that city up. Ramban's production seems a little bit short, especially with so many development cards. TK's got a city up, Yelf's got a city up, 4 settlements out there for Dirty Gertie. You know, Ramban's going to have to start amping up that production. TK, on the other hand, I think they need to get more development cards and get their production up. You know, they got the city up, but they definitely need to get this down and then get their development cards. So I think that's priority first. Another 9 rolls, double sheep. That's 3 resources for Dirty Gertie there. So if it gets all the way back around, really good rolls for them. You know, they can definitely try to make something happen with a 3-to-1 port. So Ramban trying to trade away for some brick now. With the 9 rolling, you know, Dirty's got to entertain those, I think, to get some of the things that they don't make a lot of, especially ore. Ramban wasn't offering any of that, but you know, maybe you can ask for it or make that trade happen. The 10 rolls out, double ore here. That's going to be a big one for TK. Double ore as well for Yelfs. Dirty Gertie and Ramban. Ramban actually gets a little bit of that brick that they were hoping to trade out for. Now TK is trying to make that offer here too. And I think if I'm Dirty, I'm looking at this. I need as much ore as I can get. I might even try to squeeze 2 out of it because I know there's 2. And it's just a 4 for 1. Dirty doesn't even want it. Settlement comes down anyway. The 5 wood becomes a large target, especially with that wood port. And the 5 rolls immediately. TK being rewarded for getting to that wood port. If only we had cut that off and plowed that off. I think Dirty Gertie might have had a really strong game here. Yelf's going 2-to-1 for the ore now. Now starting their development card production for themselves. Again, not having their hands stuck. 6 rolls out. Dirty Gertie's got quite a bit here. Dirty Gertie's, yeah, I think they're going to stretch out for this 5-6 and longest road. 2 roads go down and the settlement. Huge turn there. And again, they're going to be longest road player. All the roads down. All the settlements down. Unfortunate, 7 for TK. But Dirty Gertie here, they're gonna be able to connect through here unless blue decides to cut off, but pretty unlikely for Yelfs. Not sure if that's gonna happen without a 3 anyway. But yeah, they'll have the roads, they'll have the settlements, all 5, but they can't build any more settlements. It's gonna have to be cities, and that's gonna be the toughest spot. All of this production, I thought they were gonna try and build towards some ore, but they don't have any. It's going to be a long, hard 3-to-1 battle to get every piece of ore in there. Usually as the road player, you want to try to get that city up before you max out here. And once you're maxed out, you're going to be stuck at 7. 2 points for the longest road, 5 points for your settlements. You're going to be stuck on 7. Anyways, Ramban here, still trying to give away here. Maybe looking for that settlement. Again, 3 more dev cards in hand, maybe a couple of points in there, maybe saving up a mono. You'd assume that if they had the Year of Plenty, they'd have put it down already. Alright, Year of Plenty could have been big already to get that down. I assume road building would have gone out here too. Maybe to even block or to plow here, right, just to get them in there. Or even to stretch out to this 8-4 and get them somewhere. So I mean, I'm guessing that it's going to be more akin. Oh no, it is the Year of Plenty. He drops the Year of Plenty, grabs a sheep, grabs an ore, drops a settlement down. So that's what he was taking so long for. He was thinking about it. Grabs the ore, so should be much closer to citying up. Unfortunately, the 8 rolls out first, and Yelfs is producing. The 2 after that for sheep. Yelfs actually drew a knight, and that's their one and only development card there. So they're going to clear up their 10 of ore and move that away. So So they've got to decide who's in the lead now. It sounds like Ramban is with 5 points and the largest army with 2 hidden cards in there, you know, but they don't have the production. And maybe that's what makes Ramban look less scary. TK now, these 5 start to look scary, but there's no largest army and no longest road. So as scary as TK looks, it's going to be pretty tough. I think you still actually do Dirty Gertie and Ramban. You know, Ramban's got largest army on lock. They've got city potential, right? They've got a couple of expansions. Ramban's actually in a fairly reasonable spot, and yeah, Yelfs agrees. Solo blocks for the sheep and says no more development cards for you. Yelfs, on the other hand, 10 resources. Actually, a trade goes through with TK as well, and Yelfs maybe starting to buy development cards. Maybe coming after that largest army. Yeah, 3-to-1 trades happen. 2 development cards in hand. This is going to force Ramban to keep buying development cards on their turn and maybe neglecting their city as well. Ramban again throws out another knight, so we know that's another knight in there. So maybe only 1 point or none at all here for Ramban as they use a year plenty and a knight on back-to-back turns. 4 knights though makes largest army much tougher to steal. It's going to be a hard one. Oh, and they start to come back around for this 8, and this is scary. Dropping this road down just like that. Yelfs knows now if there's a road building for Yelfs and a settlement hand, that's a big plow, that's a big shutdown, wasted resources for Ramban. We'll have to see. Yelfs did buy 2 development cards on that last turn. It's not impossible that one of those is a road building. 9 rolling out and TK going 2-to-1. Second city down. 6-3-12. Citied up here. TK 5 points. Bringing themselves back into this. I think now going to the 9 brick might not be a bad idea. But again, you could see them drop back onto this 3-to-1 and maybe make use of that. Again, development cards are going to be pretty tough to come by for TK. Again, every time a 5 rolls, that's going to be a road for TK in hand now. Wheat for the rest of the table here. Everyone going to be happy about that. Yelfs only have 3 cards though. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything, even if there was a road building. Not enough to make a settlement. Oh, Yelf solo blocked on the 8 wheat. Dirty Gertie now might go ahead and connect the roads just to ensure that they have it. Because again, there is the possibility here that you build 2 roads and a third, and Yelfs ends up with the longest road. But if they can get the city down, that's priority. 3-to-1, 3-to-1, they hold. And another 8 shuts it down. That's the city now for Ramban, who's got 6 points. Largest army with one dev in hand. 7 rolls for TK. They've got a road here. Just at 7 cards. Escapes that one. And I think Ramban starts to look very scary here. I think the 8 might be a natural block here for TK, but he may end up blocking everybody on the 5 wheat as well, which is a pretty big block onto Ramban if they can't get any wheat whatsoever. I think a bigger family block might be in store here as they go for the 5 instead of the 8. Yeah, TK agrees. They block the 5. They steal from Dirty. Maybe Dirty's got some brick in store here. TK though knows that they've got a road in hand, but where do they go now? I'm wondering if they try to pair up some brick here, or if they try to lock out this ore. And again, a scary spot if you start building your roads and you don't complete this. It's just a road and a settle away for Yelfs here. Kind of a pivotal moment here for TK as they decide what they need to do here. And TK could, of course, also just try to trade away for development cards as well. They have played 1 knight, and they've got 1 other development card in hand. So even some more points. Again, if they get a road building, that's pretty big too. There's 1 more year plenty and a couple of monopolies in there. Victory points right now. Oh, that's the road building already. They're stretching it out to the 6 with the sheep port. There's that extra road that they already had in hand. Longest road taken here. TK with 7 points now. A sheep port. How do we feel about that? You know, it's not the craziest thing in the world. I don't mind it. But this does definitely give them a lot of space to build roads. Settlement here, of course, is going to be pretty huge. They're going to get on even more wood for their wood port. and they're going to have that extra sheep port, so extra options there. They'll be very flexible. Looking like a better spot here for TK as they're on 7 points. Longest road though, how long are you going to be able to keep it? Will the table give it over to Dirty Gertie, who just needs to connect here? But Dirty, we know, is holding on to a couple of ore only after they 3-1 and 3-1 there. So Yelf's here looking. I think the block has got to be on TK. You've got to slow TK down a little bit, but you can't block yourself, so that's not a spot. Maybe it's the sheep, maybe it's the wheat, and they end up blocking both here. Steal from the TK. Dirty definitely needs a few rolls to get roads, so unfortunately I don't think they're going to be able to connect this turn. So small window here for TK as it goes around a couple more times. They might be able to get within that 8-9 points, maybe get them to 10 if the roll is just right for TK. But I don't think TK can guarantee that they're going to keep longest road either, especially the way that Dirty Gertie has built this out. I think Dirty is going to have a really good path here to block out longest road. So Yelf's here trying to go 2 for 1, trying to get some wood and brick for themselves. I wonder where this is going. I think maybe trying to talk the table into it. I mean, it's possible that they just build down to here and get that 10 ore, but the other option is maybe they go for the 6 wood themselves and try to block out that way. Trade actually goes out with TK, so TK is not afraid to give that over, and Yelfs goes to the bank for an extra 1 there. My feeling is it's just going to be a road down here, and they might just drop it. 4 cards though, Yelfs might decide to hold and not reveal too early here. They may just hold that road in hand, wait for their turnaround. No, it's a road building. Road building gets them down to the 8 ore. Okay, so both road building cards shown and played out here. And that one, it's going to be double up on the 8 ore, triple up on the 8 wheat here. And while I understand that makes your game much better, Dirty's going to be blocking it. That's going to leave TK open again for longest road. So a little bit of a battle here between TK and Dirty for longest road, and Yelfs and Ranban on these dev cards here. Ranban's used all of theirs though. Ranban just cleared out their hand. 5 knights. 5 knights and a year of plenty after 6 development cards. No points, no monopolies, and of course no road buildings for Ranban there. And we got a road building from TK. We got a road building from Yelfs. Yelfs still on 1 here, and they've only played the 1 knight. I'm not sure if Yelfs has another knight or if they've got some more utility in hand. Ranban here going to replenish those development cards, keep themselves at 6 points. TK with the roll. Double ore on that one. Not quite what they want though. They want that settlement down, but they may be able to buy a couple more dev cards here. 6 cards in hand. Yeah, it's going to be another development card. We'll hang on to that. Pass to Yelfs. And Yelfs here, 1 development card, 4 resources. No reason to play their knight here. Another 10. That's going to be 4 ore. Yelfs might even be able to get themselves another city on this one. I haven't been tracking too much. 4 ore. I don't think they've got the extra 2 wheat in hand. But if they did, that would be too much. I think they've got enough here, especially with the ore port, that they could make something happen. Just not sure what they want to do with it here, whether it is drop the road down or if it is to keep buying development cards here. Very unlikely to take largest army, but there is still points, monopolies, and another year of plenty in that deck. My feeling though is another city might be in store here. Sitting up on the 5 I think will help out, especially with your production here. 3-1, getting that city up. You should have more cards to do things with, but going 2-1 for a brick, it is going to drop down onto the 10 ore here, looking for that settlement instead. No cities to be had. It's going to be a 7 rolled out from Dirty. Who's the block going to be? I think this might end up going on to maybe the 10 ore. Yeah, and it goes all the way down to the 10 ore. It's going to be a block from there. Steal from TK, keeping TK down, who's at 7 points and a hidden card. Dirty Gertie now, again, still stuck on that, not even stuck on 7 points with that longest road. Really needs a city first. Absolutely needs that city first, but, I'm going to have to slowly drop these roads down, and another one is going to steal longest road. Ranban here drops theirs after a 6 rolls out. So a settlement opportunity here on the 8-4, which I thought was going to be the initial. I'm not sure if Ramban has actually used the wheat port to their advantage too much. And again, having that early production first and then coming back, I think might have been the play there, but who knows? Especially getting onto that 8 wheat and doubling up on the 8s here. A big 3 rolls out, pretty rare number there. Double bricks for Yelfs, which is really nice. Yelfs is, again, trying to get those settlements down here. Again, TK with a couple of ores. Not going to be too upset about that. But again, they do want to get their settlements down. So if they want to try and trade, I think targeting Dirty Gertie here with those 2 ores, you might be able to trade your ores away. Despite being in the lead by so much, Dirty Gertie might consider it because that's the only way to get 2 ore. But it's going to have to be a 2-for-1, I assume. And then the rest of the table might try to talk him out of it or might try to snipe that deal from Dirty Gertie. Don't know what the table talk is like, if there is any at all. Actually, there are. All 4 of them are in table talk right now. Now, if everything were working properly on my stream, I'd probably jump in there. But today, for whatever reason, I'm going to blame it on Canada and winter. We're about 37 degrees below is what it feels like. The internet was running completely slow. My computer was running extremely slow. And that's why we're doing this offline today and just recording this offline. And not live streaming it. But the city comes down actually. TK goes ahead and sets that down on the 5, quadrupling up on that Woodport 5 and making themselves a huge target at 8 points. But again, they only need 1 settlement space here, and they may have the point and the win in hand. TK could also just buy this one out. You know, only 3 dev cards in hand. And we know a lot of the knights have been played out here. Actually, 7 of them played out. So the chances only keep going up for TK. TK looking like they're in a really good spot, poised to win this victory here. Oh! TK using the mono for all of the brick. Let's see what they do with this. They don't have a brick port. They don't have a 3-to-1. And I don't think they got too many. They only had a few cards there. Development card. Hopefully trying to buy the win there. And I'm not sure they got it. So they used that one to buy another one. So revealed the mono. Didn't get a settlement down. Only got another dev card out there and stole the bricks from everybody. Maybe holding on to longest road for just a little bit longer. You gotta think Dirty Gertie's gonna have it in hand soon. So this actually... I mean, the window there, oh, the window was there. 2 points for that might have been enough there. But I think Dirty Gertie will actually steal longest road on this next turn, and TK will drop back down to 6 points, putting Dirty Gertie at 7. Yelf's here first on 5 resources now. I'm trying to go ore for sheep. So I think this game will go a little bit longer here once things are a little bit more balanced with longest road. I think Yelfs just wants to buy out some more dev cards here. I'm going to go ahead and trade across with Dirty. Dirty loves... Oh! The Dirty mono. Traded ore for wheat. Dirty Gertie gives it right back. Yelfs, you dirty Yelfs. 13 cards in hand. We've got to be looking at some sort of city down here. And I can't imagine what the table talk is like. They're probably going wild right now. 0 cards on Ramban, 2 for TK, 4 left on Dirty Gertie here. And it's going to be a bunch of 2-to-1s, especially, don't forget, there is the ore port up there for Yelfs. Sheep, double wheat, that's going to be the settlement going down, 7 points. And probably a couple of development cards after this. I'm not sure if there is another city off of that, actually. They have the 2 wheat in hand. Does the city help them out much more? Only a little bit, I think. You know, they get a little bit more wheat production there. I don't think the extra brick and the wood actually do much. So maybe you do just dev out here. Maybe you do just buy the dev cards here. And yeah, if you are going to city, it is going to be probably that 8-3 now to try and get even more ore production. 6 rolls out here. Yelf's at 8 points. Dirty Gertie, 7 cards now. No more ore in hand. tells the table that, hey, we've got to take this longest road, and the trade goes through with Yelfs, who gives that brick over, and longest road swaps over to Dirty Gertie. TK again back down to 6 points, 1 dev card in hand, a little bit further away here. Dirty going 3-1, holding an ore in hand. All the monos have been played, nothing else out there, but a 5 rolls out, and that's going to be 4 wood over to TK. TK's production is too much. Ranban a little bit quiet here, only on the 1 dev and 2 resources after that, 2 wheat in hand. Can't do much with that. TK doesn't want to get 7'd out here. This is probably just going to be a settlement for them, but a pretty big one. TK reveals, and it is going to be a knight. Gets that off of their 10 ore and puts it on the 8 ore, hopefully slowing down Yelfs now. And that's going to be the steal there, the rollout. Oh boy. TK ends up rolling their own 7. Ignore those other screens, by the way. TK rolls it out. Might even throw away 4 wood here. They may have enough for that settlement. You know, 4 wood there. I think they got a couple of wheat there. Maybe throw away a wheat. A couple of ores. Might save enough just to buy more dev cards here, to be honest. Getting that settlement down on the 6 sheepport. Oh, they were very close. Wood, brick, double wheat. So they're actually keeping some ore in hand. I think 2 ore in the wheat. 2 ore wheat, maybe 2 wood to be able to trade. I don't know if they had any sheep in hand. If they do, it is probably going to be a couple of dev cards here, or just a single dev card. But again, largest army is so far away. Ranban off to 5 knights there. So really unfortunate, really tough to actually even consider stealing that. It's going to take way too many turns. Yeah, it's going to be a 2-1 here, going for that sheep. No, they saved enough for that settlement, so they get that down. 9 sheep now also means that they can get one of anything here. So a little bit more flexible here, and you know, longest road is still not unheard of. 1, 2, 3, 4, and TK could actually hold this down. You know, that's only a couple of 5s away, and all of a sudden TK holds longest road again, and by a fairly good margin. So Yelfs here on the 7 now. They've got to block something out. I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually a 5 wood block, but because it is Yelfs, you know, they may end up blocking something like the 6 wheat instead. That's going to be good for the entire table. Dirty and TK here. No, it is the solo 5 wood here, believing that TK is one of the largest threats here. The 10 rolls out, tons of ore, wood, or tons of ore and brick out there. And then after that, wow, Yelfs with the 8 roll, tripled up on ore, tripled up on wheat. That's a free city in there. 2 cities could win it for Yelfs here. Basically, another 8 wins it. Another 8 wins it for Yelfs. And Yelfs doesn't need longest road, doesn't need largest army, just builds it out the hard way here. Ranban here probably sees this and understands, how do we stop it? All the monos have been played out, so you can't steal any more from Yelfs. You can't shut this down at all. I think we're looking at a Yelfs victory if it gets back around with an 8. Shoot, even the 10 might do it. I don't remember what Yelfs had in their hand before, but they've got to be close. Ranban here, I mean, even if they get this settlement down, best they can do is 8 points here. 6 right now, maybe with 1 hidden. Again, this is for the grand prize, so winner takes a larger chunk, but the way that Catan Community works, they pay out so much more. They pay out all the finalists at the table. They pay out all the way down through the semifinals. At least with cash tickets or colonist coins or something like that. So I think Catan Community tried to establish the best prize pool and prize distribution for any of the cash tournaments out there. And again, their community has grown so much over the past. Again, check them out. Lots of free tournaments as well to test your hand first. Trade does go out, or for wheat here. Ranban with Dirty Gertie here. And Ranban, again, that's a good trade for Dirty. Dirty gets the ore that they need. Hopefully get themselves a city here. It's going to be tough. That's the other 8 here. That's the other 8. Back to back. Yelfs with the production. Passes. Yelfs with 19 resources. City down. Watch that second one come down. Congratulations. Well played. Yelfs, your grand champion. Catan Community Cash Tournament number 3. Taking home the grand prize. GG's and well played to all. TK, Dirty Gertie, and Ramban all at 7 points. Here are your stats for the game. 1 victory point card there. Again, largest army stayed with Ramban early, and that's about it. Dirty Gertie did take longest road. Only took that away from TK to let Yelfs jump in the lead. You're all curious about the dice? Well, let's see. 5s and 8s a little bit higher there. 6s maybe didn't play as much of a part as they should have, nor did the 4s. And a few extra 3s in there for some of those rare resources. And actually those 3s paid off quite a bit. Those 3s were those rare bricks that Yelfs needed to stretch out their production and stretch out their roads and expansions here. Lots of ore and grain towards the end of the game, and that's where you saw it there. Back-to-back 8s to get double cities for the victory here. Dev cards, we saw 9 knights taken. Ranban here with 5 off the bat there, and probably even a couple more in hand, to be honest. You got 1 VP out there. Both monopolies played a little bit early, and you know what? TK used it for that brick, and I'm not sure that was the play. Maybe they could have used it for something a little bit later on, either the wheat or the ore. But again, they didn't have the ports to be efficient with it. But I think maybe holding on to that mono just a little bit longer might have done them some good there. 2 roads played out here. Where did we see those out there? We did see one from Yelfs, which actually helped out quite a bit too. So I think Yelfs got the right draws here. You know, the 3 bricks helping them out, the road building to get them out to where they needed to go. Man, you're plenty out there as well for Ramban. Activity stats, you can see lots of trades going out. Ramban really trying an offering. Yelfs actually with a really good success rate here. 4 out of 9 trades going through. So offering the right trades at the right time to the right people, I guess. Looking at your overall stats here at the end here, you know, lots of robbing going on. You know, Yelfs didn't get 7'd out with all that production, surprisingly. And at the end, even if I think if he got 7'd out there, probably still would have won the whole thing. TK losing 12, though, that would be a big difference here. And the production, a pretty big difference. 68 and 66 for Yelfs and TK, but Dirty Gertie and Ramban only with the 44s here. And you can see Ramban didn't actually build up their production until much later. They bought about 5 development cards before they got their next expansion down. But Dirty Gertie, unfortunately, building out all 5 settlements, but no cities. Stuck on 7 is what we call that. And I think that's going to do it for now. So again, thank you for watching the video. Again, if you are enjoying the content, please do subscribe, helps me out a lot. If you do comment, again, I will respond to each and every single one. Shout out to Catan Community. Join the Discord down below. You can get in on these tournaments. I think I'm going to be spending more time doing the community ones. But other than that, as always, do no harm, do good, do better. We'll see you later.